Podjęliśmy decyzję o tym, że będziemy się domagali od naszych sojuszników ustanowienia wysuniętej obecności NATO na wschodniej flance i to się stało faktem. To był wtedy nasz wspólny sukces. Udało się to przeforsować. Dzisiaj wojska NATO są obecne w krajach wschodniej flanki w ramach, przypomnę, tak zwanej Enhanced Forward Presence, ale już w tej chwili w Polsce obecności stałej, tak jak Armia Stanów Zjednoczonych, co bardzo mnie cieszy. Ale mówię, musimy się umacniać i przede wszystkim budować nasze bezpieczeństwo. Stąd między innymi na pewno postawię tutaj tą moją propozycję, którą także zgłoszę na szczycie NATO w Waszyngtonie, o tym, aby wydatki w państwach NATO, wydatki na obronność zostały podniesione do poziomu 3% PKB państw NATO. To powinna być dzisiaj ta dolna granica. Dlaczego? Dlatego, że taka była ta granica w czasach, kiedy była... Kiedy byliśmy za żelazną kurtyną, czy kiedy państwa NATO były za żelazną kurtyną. My niestety byliśmy wtedy za żelazną kurtyną po tej wschodniej stronie. Pamiętamy dobrze te czasy i dlatego właśnie uważamy, że wobec odradzającego się rosyjskiego imperializmu trzeba umocnić państwa NATO i bezpieczeństwo państw NATO. To będą te problemy, o których będziemy dyskutowali na pewno dzisiaj. Mam nadzieję, że będziemy mieli wspólne oświadczenie i że będziemy mówili jednym głosem na spotkaniu państw NATO w Waszyngtonie.
A sytuacja na granicy polsko-białoruskiej, panie prezydencie, pan też będzie chciał ten temat?
Oczywiście, bo to jest temat tutaj wspólny dla wielu państw wschodniej flanki, zwłaszcza Polska, państwa bałtyckie, Finlandia to może już nie tyle granica z Białorusią, ale to jest granica z Rosją i to jest przede wszystkim również ogromny problem z tymi nielegalnymi migrantami pchanymi na granicę, bo Finowie tego samego doświadczyli nie tak dawno, więc na pewno ten temat się pojawi, a Finowie, tak jak zresztą i Szwedzi, zapowiadają tutaj swoją obecność, co mnie też bardzo cieszy, bo to są nasi nowi sojusznicy w NATO i cieszę się bardzo, że również na spotkaniu bukaresztańskiej dziewiątki będą obecni.
Hungary and Slovakia's presidents are not here. How much in danger is NATO because of their absence today?
In my opinion, this is not dangerous. We have unity in NATO, and I'm absolutely sure that we also have unity in the matter of the security here in the eastern flank, and that's all.
But unity is when they're present, they're not here.
Thank you.
Aha, yeah.
Every president.
Yeah.
Tak, ja poszedłem jedną głodować, no koncert z studium. Ja?
Bliżej mikrofon.
No można zgrać pasażera, nie live może wam można zgrać i dodać kanał. Pasażerom możesz zgrywanie dodać kanał. A to nowa leży też tak. Mamy 4, nie? Może jak masz jakiś najlepszy ruch ulicy i ściągnij ten efekt.
Tak.
Na 3. i 4. jeszcze.
Dokładnie.
Tego i tyle, nie? A bierzesz mikrofon.
I co? Bardzo dobrze słychać. Można to przeskoczyć? No bo jeżeli przeszłeś tą dobrą wersję, to będzie do połowy wypowiedzi z Rinkēvičs jest efekt dźwięk od prezydenta. Wysyłamy wam w takim razie wersję, którą mamy nagraną u nas, żeby no, z lepszą jakością będzie zesłana po live. Jest przepilny, to proszę. Ile tu mamy czasu?
To moje ostatnie pasa w nowe. Dwa pasa w nowe.
Jestem panem tego przepisu, tego gościa.
Daria, ty już chyba
Co jest?
No prawie, coś będę przesuwać ręką. Okej, i stanął nic, ulewka totalna.
Co jest? Lisy lecie different. Stary, oni chyba tam coś poprzestawiali znowu. Co za debile.
Co, dźwięk jest ok teraz? Mogę słychać tego. Tak, jest ok. No dobrze. Tak.
We will pull him in. We will pull him in, and he will stand there.
Come sta questo? Che fede?
Where do we stop? Here?
Yeah, okay. All right. Start you. Okay. Good morning. It's a great pleasure for me and my good friend Ulf Kristersson to be here in Riga today. It's a privilege to have been invited to the B9 meeting. We have a lot of things to talk about before the Washington summit. Finland and Sweden are both new members of the alliance. We work very closely with all B9 countries to make sure that the alliance stays safe and secure. Finland is very much a security provider rather than a security consumer. So we look forward to a day full of interesting conversations before the Washington summit.
Are we potentially looking at B11 soon?
We are guests here today.
Yeah.
We appreciate being guests here. Yeah.
But I mean, we have Hungary's absence, so it's very conspicuous.
So then it makes it into a B9 quite nicely. I think Hungary and Slovakia are not here.
Nevertheless, they're not here. How does that impact this meeting here? Does that endanger the alliance?
Well, I don't think so. This is a preparation for the NATO summit, obviously. I think those of us being here are extremely aligned and extremely committed to all the tasks we have ahead of us, so I don't think so.
In any case, I mean, if you look at Washington, we're preparing defense, deterrence and support to Ukraine. Both of us had the chance to meet Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg last week. We had good conversations of how we're taking things forward towards the summit. I think obviously there's still a few weeks to go, but feel quite confident that the package that we will build around Ukraine, the pathway towards Ukraine NATO membership is all going on track.
But is it easy to work with such countries who are more Russia-friendly, such as Slovakia, Hungary, and Bulgaria?
I think, you know, if there's one thing we're all united about right now, is to make sure that Ukraine wins this war. Russia is an aggressive, imperialist country. Finland and Sweden joined NATO because of Russia's attack on Ukraine. We should not underestimate the unity and the determination we have to support Ukraine.
I'm quite sure that what we will see in DC in a few weeks' time is a very solid support for Ukraine. Okay?
Good.
Great.
All right, thanks.
Waar moet hem staan? Hier. Daar moet hem staan. Hier. Hier. Dat is helemaal niet allemaal. Uit je blank. Zij moet hier staan. Hier.
Morning.
How are you feeling about the absence of Hungary and Slovakia?
Well, we'll survive, I hope, because I'm ambassador as a president. So as I approach a NATO summit in Washington, there are basically two key issues to address here in Riga. This is ensuring strong support for Ukraine and countering Russian threat, military threat to NATO, because Russia's threat remains biggest. We all know that there are growing military presence near our borders, hybrid and different attacks across Europe. So what we need to do to make sure that we grow also our defense resources, and that we make sure that all these plans we have are going to implement it as well as far as NATO is concerned. Thank you.
Estonia has done so much for Ukraine and the alliance. Are we talking about potentially now finally an invitation for Ukraine at Washington Summit?
Well, of course, we need a path to NATO, because to Ukraine to NATO, because Ukraine belongs to NATO, and we also have to do to grow all the military, as I said, military budget, and as I guess 2% is not enough, so we need more. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe someone will say something. Yeah, but it's interesting to see the reaction a little bit.
Yeah, everyone else. I guess so.
I get paid by commission, so it's rather per word. I get paid per word.
So you do voiceovers or stand-up, so what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually in the studio. Warsaw, and then also I'm on the road, in Brussels, also here, come through here quite a bit. It's punchy.
Polish connection?
No, just interest. I've been there like 10 years now. So, it's a good place though.
There's a guy. What his name? There's a Wall Street Journal guy there.
Yeah.
You know him? I fell in love with it. I used to think as a journalist from here until they sort of closed everything down.
Nossa.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here to visit old and beautiful capital of Latvia, Riga. But this time I think it will be very important coordination summit ahead of Washington NATO summit. And I think there are three pillars we should discuss. First of all, preparation for Washington summit, of course. The second is support to Ukraine. And the third is strengthening of eastern flank. I think we are like-minded countries. We will find the necessary solutions. We will calibrate our approaches towards Russia, towards support of Ukraine. What seems to be important for me as a president of Lithuania, we have to be decisive in supporting Ukraine. Because I see that sometimes we celebrate the decision-making and we are not celebrating the delivery. So first of all, we have to celebrate if our military equipment, of our ammunition passes the border of Ukraine. Sometimes the gap between those two moments is just unacceptably too broad. The second issue is, of course, defense pledge or defense spending pledge. We took the decision to have 2% of GDP level as a floor of defense spending. I think it's not sufficient enough. Having in mind the geopolitical situation, we have to increase our spending, and my country is doing that other countries of Eastern flank are doing that. I think the big fishes, big partners and allies of NATO should take more responsibilities, because this is not only necessary for strengthening of our support to Ukraine. This is necessary for modernizing our military forces. And I think Europe have to take more responsibilities in developing military capabilities here on the ground. And I think we are on good track. My country has a lot of plans, ambitious plans to strengthen our defense industry, and we will be able to do that, I think.
Mr. President, you said being decisive. How can you be decisive and unified with Hungary and not being here?
I think this is important, just not only to take the decisions, but first of all,
good morning. It's great to be back in Riga. It's great to be attending the B9 meeting. I look forward to meet the heads of state and government, also together with the Finnish and the Swedish representative, the Swedish Prime Minister and the Finnish President. The B9 is a very good platform to address current NATO issues, and at the meeting today we will discuss the preparations for the upcoming Washington summit, deterrence, defense, how to ensure that NATO continues to provide credible deterrence based on strong collective defense, and also we will address how to ensure that we put the support to Ukraine on a firmer and a more robust footing. So Ukraine and deterrence and defense are the main topics for the meeting today. Then I'm ready to take some questions.
Is the absence of Hungarian president in any way a warning sign, or it's just a coincidence that sort of the pro-Russian country's president is not here?
Well, I will leave it to Hungary to comment on that decision. What matters for me is that I expect all NATO allies to agree on the way forward, both when it comes to further strengthening our deterrence and defense for the last years, also with the support of Hungary. We have implemented the biggest reinforcement of our collective defense, and let there be no doubt NATO is there to protect all allies against any threat. And all allies have also, the last years, agreed to provide significant support to Ukraine, and I expect that when we meet in Washington at the NATO summit, NATO allies will agree to give NATO a stronger role in coordinating support, but also agree a long-term financial commitment. So for me what matters is that all allies are able to make those decisions. I expect that that will be the case also at the Washington summit.
What do you think of the idea of some nations bordering on Ukraine, some NATO members, extending their air defense missile coverage into the Ukrainian territory to repel some of these Russian missile attacks?
Well, NATO and NATO allies have made it clear from the beginning that we are ready to support Ukraine, and NATO allies have provided unprecedented support to Ukraine. But NATO allies have also made it clear that we will not be party to the conflict, meaning that we are helping Ukraine with ammunition, with training, with military equipment, and I urge allies to sustain and step up that support, and I'm confident that allies will agree to do so. But at the same time, NATO has not sent in combat troops. We are not party to the conflict. We need to remember what this is. This is a war of aggression. Russia attacked another country, attacked Ukraine, and Ukraine has, according to international law, the right to defend itself, and we have the right to help Ukraine uphold the right of self-defense, and we will do that in ways that doesn't make NATO allies party to the conflict.
Secretary General, we're going to Budapest soon. Any breakthrough deal, Mr. Erdogan? Will the alliance come together finally at last?
Well, I will be in Budapest tomorrow, and I will meet with Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. That's part of my task as Secretary General of NATO, is to travel around to NATO capitals and to meet NATO leaders and to ensure that we are able to agree, as we have done at every NATO summit over the last years, and we will continue to do. So I look forward to going to Budapest to sit down and discuss the agenda for the NATO summit. That includes support for Ukraine and also how to further strengthen our deterrence and defense. And I will then meet the press tomorrow, and I can tell you more about the meeting after I met Viktor Orbán.
Okay, one final question. Can we get one final question?
First time there won't be a joint statement on this level. How dangerous is the alliance?
Well, I'm confident that NATO allies will agree at the NATO summit. We have a defense ministerial meeting this week. I expect NATO allies will agree there too on the way forward on important decisions, both on deterrence and defense and Ukraine. And I also expect that when we meet in Washington, we will agree on the way forward. So it's not for me to comment on the B9 because I'm a guest here, but I will be able to tell you exactly what we agree as NATO allies. Okay. NATO allies are providing support to Ukraine in different ways. And again, we need to understand what this is. Russia has attacked Ukraine. Ukraine has the right to self-defense, and the right to self-defense includes the right to attack legitimate military targets on the territory of the aggressor. Russia is the aggressor. They have attacked, and especially now when Russia has opened a new front in the north, in the Kharkiv region, they are launching attacks directly from Russian territory into Ukraine with missiles, with artillery, with airstrikes. And of course, if Ukraine was not allowed to repel those attacks by firing back on the batteries that are attacking Ukraine directly from Russian territory, then it would be the same as to ask Ukraine to defend themselves with one hand tied on their back. So this is about self-defense. It's about protecting against Russian attacks, and Ukraine has the right to do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Kan de døde? Ja, kan de gjøre? Peter, ja.
Shall I move?
Well, a very good morning, dear friends, excellencies. I'm very happy and privileged to host all of you here in Riga for the Eastern Flank Summit. And first of all, let me thank both President Duda and President Iohannis for excellent coordination of this format. But I think that what makes also this gathering very special, that for the first time we also have the opportunity to talk and to discuss issues that are related to the regional security, to the eastern and northeastern flank security with our friends from Finland and Sweden. This is also the opportunity to congratulate you one more time on accession to NATO, but I think that we also see the need to discuss many very topical issues. Number one is preparation for NATO summit in Washington. This is a very special year because the alliance is celebrating the 75th anniversary. Many of our nations here gathered are also celebrating the 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary of becoming NATO members. I think that one issue that is very important to coordinate and to exchange views is how those decisions taken in Madrid and Vilnius are being implemented. What should we make more when it comes to strengthening the defense, how we are going to respond to all kinds of hybrid attacks that from time to time we see our countries are experiencing. Number two is, of course, how we can strengthen the global outreach of NATO with our Asia-Pacific partners. Also, how we coordinate the southern flank security, because as we see, defense and security of the alliance is very much interlinked. And another topic that is of importance is, of course, continuous support for Ukraine. I think that we all here believe that Ukraine's victory, Ukraine's success is of paramount importance to our security, to European security, and indeed to global security. I think that we need to find a way how to ensure the long-term military, financial and political support for Ukraine, how we can actually make Washington summit a summit where Ukraine gets also a practical roadmap way forward in order inevitably to become a member of the alliance. I would stop here. I just want to one more time thank all presidents, Secretary General of NATO and ambassadors who are present here, and very much looking forward to a fruitful, interesting exchange of views on those subjects or any subjects that we are interested in to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear Edgars, thank you for the warm welcome and for hosting us. Dear colleagues, I'm glad that we meet here today, and I must say that I'm very glad that the eastern flank is stronger now, it's longer now, and so Finland and Sweden are well represented here, as well as NATO at the highest level. What can go wrong? Nothing. I'm confident that our meeting today, ahead of the anniversary NATO summit in Washington, will prove productive. As dramatic regional developments continue to increasingly claim our full attention and coordination, we need to act in order to bring added value to our alliance as a whole. We need to act towards more solidarity, dialogue and cooperation. They are and should remain the roots of our common strength and resilience. Through our shared vision and action, the B9 format has contributed to NATO's enhanced deterrence and defense posture from the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea. And, dear colleagues, we need to continue on this path. This is why we need to maintain focus on improving security on NATO's eastern flank, especially in the Black Sea region. By doing so, we will strengthen the regional and Euro-Atlantic security and that of all 32 allies. Continuing and increasing our support for Ukraine for as long as it takes. Other NATO vulnerable partners, the Republic of Moldova in particular, should also receive our attention and assistance to enhance resilience. Third, Russia will continue to pose the biggest security risk to our states and to the European security. We should be ready to act accordingly. We, the NATO allies on the eastern flank, are in the front line when it comes to countering the negative effects of this devastating war. I wish us a good summit today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Klaus. And now, President Duda, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Our dear host, so Excellencies, gentlemen, dear colleagues, first I would like to congratulate our friend Gitanas Nausėda for his great victory in Lithuania. Gitanas, congratulations. And I would like to say that I'm very glad to meet once again with all my colleagues from the Bucharest Nine countries. I am truly satisfied that we are joined by NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and our new allies from Sweden and Finland. The presence of NATO Secretary General and two new members is a clear sign that NATO is a vital security guarantor, and our commitment to defend every inch of the Allied territory is ironclad, and that the open door policy is an important tool to broaden the area of security and stability. Since its inception, the Bucharest Nine format has not only been perceived as, but it truly is the voice of NATO eastern flank. Once again, we are meeting at a crucial time when the common voice of our countries must be heard prior to the upcoming summit in Washington, D.C. The decisions taken at the NATO summit will be crucial in confronting the increasing belligerence of the Russian Federation. The ongoing illegal war of aggression against Ukraine reminds us on a daily basis that Russia is ready to use all available forces and means, including the military ones, to achieve its neo-imperial goals. While we are meeting here in Riga, the Polish border with Belarus is seeing once again the weaponization of migration with the use of illegal migration pressure, artificially introduced by Kremlin as part of the hybrid operation. We are aware that the same tools are being used right now against other states from our region. There is no doubt that the erosion of the European security architecture compels us to increase our efforts in order to ensure NATO's credible defense and deterrence system on the eastern flank. We have to be aware that security does not come cheap. We can observe that Russia's economy is already on war footing. We should also increase our defense spending. It's a natural step to strengthen our own defense capabilities. I sincerely hope that this B9 summit will contribute to the development of unified, coherent voice among the countries from the Baltic to the Black Sea before the NATO summit in Washington. and that the summit will confirm the strength of the transatlantic bond as well as credibility of the Allied defense and deterrence posture. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Andrzej. And now I would like to invite Secretary General of NATO, Jens. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, President Rinkēvičs, dear Edgars. It's great to be back in Riga. Great to again meet with you. And thank you for hosting this B9 summit here in Riga. Many thanks also to the co-chairs, President Duda and President Iohannis. It's also great to be able to sit down with you again. And then let me highlight or underline the importance of this platform, the B9, as a platform to address common security challenges and also to how to further strengthen NATO's eastern flank. And of course, it is even more so an important platform with now also Finland and Sweden present around the table as full members of the alliance. The meeting today provides us with an excellent opportunity to address the issues which are important as we prepare for the upcoming NATO summit in Washington in July, to address how to further bolster our deterrence and defense. All the allies in the B9 framework and also Finland and Sweden are playing a key role in providing deterrence and defense. The B9 countries host NATO's battle groups in the eastern part of the alliance, and you contribute to our collective defense in many different ways, and we are extremely grateful for that. The NATO summit will then make important decisions on how to further strengthen our deterrence and defense and how to continue to step up when it comes to defense spending, also an area where the countries in this room actually are leading by example, all spending at least 2% of GDP on defense. We will also address how to put our support for Ukraine on a firmer footing. Ukraine needs long-term support. They need predictability, accountability. So therefore, I expect that NATO leaders, when they meet in July, we will agree that NATO should lead the coordination effort of providing security assistance and training, and also agree a long-term financial commitment to Ukraine. So once again, thank you so much for hosting the meeting. Thank you for inviting me. I look forward to the discussions.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask the press to leave. We will arrange our work for a discussion on those subjects that you've just heard. So thank you very much.